Hey guys, it's Babypowder, and we're back with another one of our clean out videos for 200 run series part 2. And again, we have already finished hitting our goal of 10 million, but we're going to finish out the little bit we have left. Let's list it. So this is going to be for week 26, which is our first week after we've done islands. So we'll be looking to see if islands brought us any good gold, and if any of our previous farms actually brought us any good gold. This time though, if you didn't see the loot video from islands, it was pretty good. We got a good amount of stuff. I did actually do it by number of runs this time instead of tracking the time, so I feel like it might have helped us out with getting more loot. We'll have to see how it compares to this week's islands. I know this week it actually had like nothing but the big boxes, so we'll see if that affects how much we get, if we get a lot less this time, because I think that's last time we did it during this series, that's when we got the least amount because of it costing so many doubloons for a cash. So but anyway, let's go ahead and jump into our review and see just how well we did last week, or actually how bad we did. It was actually pretty bad. We only made 180,278 gold last week, which really looked pretty bad after we just hit almost 1 million gold the week before. But we had already hit our goal, so it was still pretty good. I mean, anything we make now is just extra, really. We're just still seeing, you know, what we can bring in doing the farms that we have left, right? But I did also mention last time too, the reason why it may have been so low, and it could have just also been a bad week. I mean, that does happen. You saw series 1, they actually only made 195,000 that week as well, but I also only posted pretty much on the weekend. I did try, I think I got a couple of posts in during the week on some of the high value stuff, but other than that, I really didn't post until the weekend because I was so behind on getting those farms done. So those items also, we'll be looking to see if we sold anything from Seth Hall's and the Botanica as well, because we really didn't have an opportunity to sell them last week since they didn't get posted until the weekend, right? But anyway, again, guys, we made 180,000. That put us to 10,409,000, which we're already over our goal. We still have Thrall in the lead right now, as they actually still made the most, even though it didn't make much. Proudmore only made 83,000. Thrall made 97,000, putting the realms at 5,163,000 for Proudmore, 5,246,000 for Thrall. As far as our transmog, we are now at 9,078,000 in transmog after making 138,000 last week, and 1,331,000 in our materials slash pets. We actually might see some pet sales this week since we just did islands, right? That's where the pet sales pretty much come in, other than we do get some from welding caverns with those deviant hatchlings. But yeah, 42,200 gold actually came from materials last week, so if we wouldn't have had that little bit helping us out, it would have been really sad last week. But yeah, materials still help out, right? As far as series 1 goes, they actually made 683,000 this week, so that will be hard to beat. Although, you know, I do like to try to beat series 1 because they were, you know, just adding one farm every single week. So it was kind of like a slow way of building up your stock and getting the sales a little bit slower, right? But really, guys, all I really want to do is hit 200,000 a week. So if I can at least do that, it's going to be a good week, which we didn't quite do it last week. We came close, but we didn't quite do it. I did post all this week, so we'll hopefully see a difference in our sales. We also did make up to 6,904,000 in series 1 at this point, so they still were not at their goal, even though we've already hit our goal. So no matter what we make, it's still going to be a good week, but we want to aim for at least 200,000, and if we can, possibly beat series 1 in their 683,000. Speaking of the series 1, those items, I have moved those to other realms, as you guys know if you've been following the cleanouts here. And we are still posting those items on different realms because we're using Proudmore and Thrall once again. But it is just passive gold, and they are still making us gold. Now, last week they only made us 150,000, but again, it's only passive, other than having to post the items on the auction house, of course. But this week they actually did really well. They made us 358,000 gold, so actually a really, really nice amount. That now means that since we started the second series, passively, they have actually made us 8,007,000 gold, just, you know, passively making gold, not adding anything new to those items. They are on different realms, but that's still quite a chunk of gold we're making off of everything we farmed in Series 1. Also in Series 1, we extended it past, hitting the goal. We did some farms afterwards, so they did build up quite a stock. But we've pretty much gotten there with quite a bit of stock this time too. And that's the thing, you can continuously do this, like farm up on 2 realms, move the stuff over, farm it up again, move it over, farm, and still be making gold on the items for a long time before you really need to restock. Now there are some popular items you may want to say, hey, I sold this, sold it for quite a bit, like the rich purple silk shirt pattern or Jinsu swords, things of that nature. You might be like, well, maybe I should get another one up on that realm. But in the meantime, you could take all your other items and be posting them on other realms, right? But anyway, I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this week's review. Let's go ahead and get to our bank alts and see how much we made this week. But before we do, if you guys do enjoy these cleanouts, go ahead and smash the big thumbs up. Lets me know that you like it. Also helps out the channel. And do not forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss the next one or the loot video, so you can actually see what we're getting before we actually do sell it, see where it came from, right? But anyway, like I mentioned, it's first week islands, so we're doing islands again this week too. Let's go ahead and get to that first bank. It's going to be Proudmoore, as always. We'll start off with low value transmog, then high value transmog, and then we'll check out the materials, which hopefully we got some pets from the islands, and then we'll do the exact same thing with raw. All right, guys, so first up, it is our low value bank alt for Proudmoore, where we hope for at least 1,000 gold average per sell and somewhere between 30 to 40,000 gold, hopefully. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what we got here. And we've got 57 sales, 69,501 gold. So we're above both of those parameters, with it being more than 1,000 gold average per sale, and it's even over 40,000. So almost 70,000 gold. Really nice start here. Definitely, if everything else is up, we should be able to beat last week's. But anyway, let's see what standouts we got here. So first up, we got the Knight's War Axe, sold for 1,200. We have the Cleft Hoof Mace, sold for 1,300. We also have a Dinge Cleaver here for 1,400. Resident Guardian, it's one of those blue low value shields that drop often, 1,600. We have a Vine Wrap Staff here for 1,900. That's going to be from WAD. Axe of the Legion, I believe that's BC, 2,100. Evermorn Twig, sorry, 1,500. We also have Direforged Shield here for 1,000, and then a recipe for Elixir of Empowerment for almost 2,000. All right, and getting up here, we got Saltstone Shoulders for 10,000. Really nice on that one. This Mock Nathal Battle Axe is from BC, 1,100. We also have a thoroughly read, or Nat Pickle's book. I don't know why I was trying to read the whole thing. 4,700. We also have Grunt's Hand Wraps for 8,600. Nice. Formula for Enchant Chest Major Resilience for 5,300. And then we have a Bandit Shield for 12, almost 1,300. Dark Iron Baby Booty, so from BRD. Still got a few of those floating around. 6,400 for that one. All right, guys, so now on to our high value bank tune, where we hope for some exciting sales. Definitely want to at least have about 100,000. That's what we aim for, and for our sales to be around the 10,000 average per sale at least. That's like a minimum. We want it to be a way above that, but that's kind of like acceptable. We did all right kind of thing. Let's go ahead and take a look. Let's see how they did. And we've got 12 sales, 151,557 gold. So again, it's above those parameters. So really good week, actually. We do have some low ones, of course, too, with it being close to 15 sales and being 150,000, but still really good here. We got the Head Splitter. Actually, I think that's kind of around the low value range anyway. So okay with that being 2,000. We have the Splinter Spear Broad Axe for 2,800. Captain Carver's Persuader, 4,500. I think that's from Wrath, if I'm not mistaken. Thistle Tea Pattern, that actually tends to sell pretty low nowadays, so that's okay, 2,200. Then we have a Sanguine Mantle for 10,000. Merciless Legs for 9,400. Saltstone Wrist for 8,200. We have the Dragon Rider's Harness. So here we go. This is stuff from Islands. So we are selling stuff from Islands already. And we've got 2 of those already sold for about 19,000 each. And then we have the Ancient Design Frostworms Ice Gaze here. So that's going to be one of those patterns we got from actually doing, turning that stuff in at Nax. 18,000. Frostwind Gloves. I'm not sure where Frostwind Gloves come from. That's a pretty nice sell. 37,000 on that one. I'll have to look that one up. Blood Skull Legs, 17,000 for those. All right, guys, so our last bank alt before we switch over to Thrall and see what they did, and we're already doing quite well. We're already over 200,000, so we've already reached that goal. I want to see if we can beat Series 1, and honestly, I still have a goal of hoping to hit 1 million. I was wanting to do it before we hit 10 million, but hey, I still like to see it. I don't know if we'll do it in this one because we probably need both realms to be super high, even though Primal did quite well. But they just, I don't know if it's high enough even for Thrall, if they even had a good week to actually be able to do it together. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look and see what we have on our materials. Really, it's probably just gonna be pets because we don't get any materials from doing islands, right? So we have 2 sales, 5,484 gold, which is really good for only 2 sales. Of course, we're only really selling the pets now. We got the juvenile brine shell here, almost 5. I mean, that's almost the 5,000 right there. That's actually pretty good. And then we have a musk flake halfling for 735 gold. Oh, and by the way, guys, I did go back and look at those Frostwind gloves from the high value. It actually was island item as well, so that's where we got it. So island stuff is selling really well. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and hop over to Thrall and see how well they did. All right, guys, so now over here on Thrall, again, hoping for at least 30, 40,000 and 1,000 gold average per sell. Let's take a look. And we've got 44 sales, 115,829 gold. Wow. They really ramped it up with the low value stuff, man. They sold, oh, I mean, that's a good amount of sell, but that's really a really good amount of value per sell for low value items. I mean, only 44 and over 100,000 gold is really, and that's the second time we've done it with them hitting over 100,000 with their low value stuff. And this time it's even higher than the last time. And that was our big sale where we were like over 900,000. But we also had a rich purple silk shirt pattern on our high value bank too, which we don't have now to actually help us with hitting, you know, a goal that high or hitting sales that high. But anyway, let's go ahead and take and see what standouts we have this week. So we got the Bone Link armor here for almost 5,000, 4,800. We have Jade Belt here for 1,300. We have a pattern for the Carapace of Sun and Shadow for 4,200. Vine Wrapped Broad Axe, again a WOD item, 1,400. Iron Docks is the Vine Wrap stuff. Nether Guard Hammer for 3,600. We also have a Skittish Spear here for 47, almost 4,800. I do think that one's from doing Skyreach, I want to say. There are some skittish things that do drop from BC though. Grim Reaper for 6,000. We have the Breastplate of Blade Turning for 3,100, so low value blue item, if I remember correctly. We have a Bloodforged chest piece for 3,700. Bloodmar breastplate for 4,000. I think Bloodmar is also from Skyreach, if I remember correctly. Hellgrind Carapace for 4,400. Stonebreaker breastplate for 6,200. We also have a Wrangler's cloak for 1,800, and then Outrunner's cloak for 5,900. We have Highland Greaves sold for 33, and then we have Highland Legs for 5,500, and then the Elegant Leggings sold for 2,700. And they keep on coming. We have Reaver armor for 1,400. We have the Rime Plate breastplate for 3,000. We have Grizzlemall armor here for almost 8,000. We have a Jade Belt once again for 1,300. Plundered Mogu Scepter, so islands, 1,500. We also have Saltstone Shoulders. So Saltstone Shoulders sold on both realms for a decent amount. A little bit more over here though, 11,000 over here versus like 10,000 over there, so only like 1,000 more. Tyrant's Leg Plate sold for 1,100. Rune Golem Shackles sold for 3,400. We also sold another Nat Pickles book for 8,400, and then some Jade epaulets. That's the shoulders, I think, 2,300. And then a bloodletter scalpel from for 1,000. That's one of those blue items that actually drops in ZF. All right, guys, now on to the high value transmog, but this time for Thrall. Once again, we're looking for at least 100,000 and hoping at a minimum 10,000 average per sale. Let's see how well they did compared to Prowmore. And we've got 15 sales, 478,452 gold. So yes, they did way better than Prowmore. Means we should have some very exciting sales in here. Let's take a look. Man, they're the ones that actually had the big sales when we had the almost 1 million gold too. So let's take a look. So small one up first, but then we sold the Jinsu sword. So there, that's the big boy right there. 235,000. Really nice sale. Actually, I don't think I've ever sold one for this much before now. So really, really good. I know other people possibly have. I've seen pretty big sales on it, but typically I seem to sell it around 150 to, I think I've had it around 190 before, but never quite this big. So I've been kind of close to it before, but never over 200,000. And it was actually 248. It didn't take too much of an auction house cut. I'm actually quite surprised. I feel like the auction house cut is usually pretty huge on these bigger sales. So, but yeah, 235,000. Jade legs next. Actually, really nice sell on the jade legs. I haven't seen them sell for that much in a long time. 45,000, but again, we just had a huge sale. If you saw in Discord, I posted because it wasn't actually on one of these realms, but Glorious Leg Plates actually sold them for more than I'd ever sold them for. It was really, really high, and it might be due to like the nerfs to the open world farms and stuff like that. But yeah, Jade Legs kicking it back up a little bit there with 45,000. Arcanite Broad Axe, 18,000. That's going to be from Iron Docks. Blade of Misfortune, so that's one of those blue items that drops from BC, 19,000. Dragon's Rib Sword for 16,000. Is that BC? I'm not sure. I can't remember where that one comes from. Dranic Tree Cleaver, so that's a blue item from WOD. 18, almost 19,000. Rugged Pole Arm sold for 16,000. Bleak Scythe sold for 14,000. I'm almost certain that's from Wrath. We also sold a pattern for the Blue Workman's shirt. Of course, that came from Wrath as well. 7,000. So those are going back down on us. We have the Ancient Plans Edict of Redeemed Crusaders sold for 60. That's actually really nice. 64,000 on that one. That's another one of those Nax plans. We actually didn't do that the first time around, but yeah, bringing us some nice gold. Sold 2 of those patterns this week, 1 on each realm. So really nice there. This one's just a little bit better. Witch Fury sold 2,800. It's kind of a lower value item anyway. Dragon Rider's Harness sold for 13,000. So that's one of the island's items. And then a Barbaric Loincloth sold for 4,200. Really, really nice week. Definitely standouts here. Jinsu, the Jade Legs, and also that pattern. All right, guys, last bank alt for week 26. Let's see how well our materials did with Thrall. Again, actually, it's really just going to be pets. And let's see if they did a little bit better than Proudmoore, or at least as good. And we've got 7 sales, 7,282 gold, so a little bit better. Maybe not as much as far as the value. Actually, I don't know. They have a 5,000 sale here, so about the same with the value. Actually, just a bunch of low ones too at the same time. So yeah, a bunch of low ones here from the islands actually, but then we actually sold a deviant hatchling, so we still actually have some hatchlings. Actually don't see any more. I know my face is covered, but I don't see any more in the inventory. I think I might have some posted though. So I am getting kind of low on the hatchlings now at this point, but we did sell one, 5,600, and that's all the way back from when we did Welding Cavern. So still kind of sold. I don't know if they really sold too, slowly. I mean, pests do tend to sell a little bit slower other than these low value ones from the islands, but we've had them ever since like the very beginning of this clean out, and because we did Welding Caverns pretty early trying to get like the loincloths and things like that. But yeah, we actually, I think this time around we got a little bit luckier with the pets. We got quite a few, so not necessarily that they sold too slow, but we just had a lot, and they do tend to sell slower than other things. But anyway, still really good. Closing out our week this week. All right, guys, so to conclude week 26 clean out, how did we do? Well, we made 815,339 gold with our transmog, so really nice. Not as high as that 900 something thousand we had a couple weeks back, but still really good, especially after only making 180,000 last week. And then we also made 13,000 with our pets. So we didn't have any materials, right? Which is below what we had last week, but we actually had a fair amount of materials, making us up a good amount of gold last week. And doesn't mean that the pets can't actually make us a good amount of gold as we start to get more of them from the islands, right? They do sell quite fast, as you see. We've already sold some of them compared to some of the other pets, but again, some of them don't bring in much value either. There are some that actually have some really good value from the islands, and one in particular that actually has some really nice value, but again, that one kind of takes a long time to sell. But anyway, that does bring our grand total to 828,469 gold for the week. Still not breaking a million, but really close. And is that our second highest? That's our second highest, so really good coming back from not making much last week. That now does bring our grand total up to 11,238,000 after 26 weeks. Again, we were already above our goal, but we're just making more on top of that. Now, as far as our transmog goes, we have now made 9,893,000, so almost 10 million in transmog alone, which is mostly what we aim for anyway, is the transmog. And maybe before we finish this thing out, we'll actually be over the 10 million in just transmog alone. As far as our materials go, now pets pretty much, we made 1,344,000 so far. And as far as our realms go, Thrall crushed it once again this week. So just like last time, I mean, Proudmoore was leading all the way throughout the, series pretty much. And then at the very end, I don't know what happened. Thrall comes back and, takes the lead. You could say that it's because, well, Thrall, got the Jinsu. Thrall got the, rich purple silk shirt pattern. Well, Proudmoore actually had one earlier on, and they actually got to sell one, and that kind of gave them a lead early on, so it kind of evens out. And the first time around, Proudmoore actually had the big boy. They had the T-Boo's blazing longsword, which actually gave them a pretty good lead, and still Thrall managed to come back at the end and actually take it. But again, it's been a joint effort to reach our goal and just see how much gold we can make, and we're just using 2 realms, and they do share items between each other to help us get to those amounts faster, of course. Proudmoore has this week made us 226,000, and Thrall made us 601,000, bringing the totals up to 5,390,000 for Proudmoore and 5,848,000 for Thrall. Definitely a turn of events there. And guys, that's pretty much going to wrap this one up. Again, really nice. We did actually, reach at least 200,000, and we did actually beat our series 1 of 683,000, which I didn't know if we were going to do it. I mean, 683,000 was a really good amount to beat, and we still were able to pull it off. Now granted, Thrall has some really good sales with that Jinsu. They also had some other good sales with that pattern, the J legs and things like that. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much going to wrap this one up as I get these numbers in here slowly but surely. But anyway, if you guys did enjoy this video, go ahead and smash the big thumbs up. Lets me know that you like it. Also helps out the channel. And do not forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss the next one, and see how much more we can make from these island drops as we close in and get islands week 2 completed. Also, do not forget to subscribe so that way you can actually see the loot videos, see these items that we're getting, that we're posting to make this much gold each week. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it in this one. I hope to see you all in the next video and live sometime on Twitch. Take care, guys.